Hello everyone, welcome back to video 7 of our data analytics series. Have you ever wondered how companies use data to increase sales, understand customers, reduce risk, and make better business decisions? In this video, we will see how analytics creates real business value. Many people pay thousands for data analytics courses, but I'm bringing this complete series to you for free, especially for beginners who want to learn everything step by step and build a strong foundation. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, stay with me throughout this journey, and keep learning consistently. Now, let's begin with today's agenda.
The agenda for today's video. First, how analytics creates business value. Second, customer and growth analytics. Third, sales and marketing analytics. Fourth, and digital analytics. Operations and supply chain analytics. Sixth, finance, fraud and risk analytics. Seventh, customer experience analytics. Data quality, reconciliation and trust. Ninth, analytics automation and scalable reporting. And 10th, building an enterprise-ready analyst mindset. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer understanding of how analytics creates value across different areas of a real business. Let's get started with our first topic. Let's start with business impact. Companies don't analyze data just to create charts. The real goal is to improve measurable business outcomes. Analytics supports revenue growth by increasing sales, improving conversions, and identifying high-value customers. It helps with cost optimization by reducing waste, improving resource utilization, and automating repetitive work. For risk reduction, analytics helps detect fraud, identify anomalies, and monitor business risks. And for customer experience, it helps understand customer behavior, improve retention, and personalize experiences. At the enterprise level, the flow is simple. Business activity creates data. Data leads to analysis. Analysis creates insight. Insight drives action, and action creates business value. That is how analytics creates real business impact. We have customer and growth analytics, where companies analyze the complete customer lifecycle from acquisition to retention and long-term value. Acquisition analytics tells us where customers are coming from, customer acquisition cost, channel performance, and campaign conversion. Engagement analytics measures active users, purchase frequency, session behavior, and product or service usage. Retention analytics focuses on retention rate, purchase and cohort behavior. And customer value analytics helps measure AOV, customer lifetime value, and identify high-value customer segments. In this example, 10,000 customers were acquired, 6,500 remained active, 4,000 became repeat customers, and 1,500 became high-value customers. The key purpose of this analysis is to identify where customers are being lost and where the biggest growth opportunities exist. Moving ahead, let's look at sales and marketing analytics, where companies measure which activities are actually generating business value. Sales analytics tracks revenue trends, sales growth, and regional performance, and the sales pipeline. Marketing analytics measures impressions, click-through rate, conversion rate, cost per acquisition, and return on ad spend. Companies also use customer segmentation to group customers by location, behavior, spending, purchase frequency, and product preference. For example, if a company spends 10 Indian rupees lakh on marketing, analytics helps answer one important question: which channel actually generated profitable customers? Based on this insight, management can shift more budget toward the higher-performing channels and improve overall returns. Next, let's understand product and digital analytics, which helps companies understand how users interact with websites and other digital products. A typical user funnel starts when a user visits the platform, then signs up, explores the product, adds something to the cart, completes a purchase, and ideally returns again. To understand this journey, analysts track important measures like daily or monthly active users, feature adoption, conversion rate, drop-off rate, retention, and session behavior. Now look at this funnel analysis example. We start with 100,000 visitors. Out of them, 35,000 view a product, 12,000 added to the cart, 6,000 reach checkout, and finally 4,200 complete the purchase. So the analyst investigates three important questions. Where are users dropping off? Why are they dropping off? And what change could improve the conversion rate? This kind of analysis is very common in e-commerce, SaaS, and mobile applications, where understanding each stage of the user journey is extremely important. Next is operations and supply chain analytics, where analytics helps businesses work faster and more efficiently. In operations analytics, analysts track cycle time, productivity, SLA performance, and bottlenecks. In supply chain analytics, they focus on demand forecasting, inventory, supplier performance, and delivery performance. For example, if customers report late deliveries, analysts compare the warehouse, region, courier, route, and delivery time to find the real cause. The analysis may show that one logistics partner is driving most of the delays. The key skill is not just finding what went wrong, but also understanding where, when, why, and the business impact. That is how analysts move from reporting a problem to finding the root cause and supporting action. Next, let's understand finance, fraud and risk analytics. Here, analytics is used not only to measure financial performance, but also to protect money and control business risk. In financial performance, analysts track revenue, expenses, profit margins, budget versus actual, and cash flow trends. Fraud analytics looks for unusual patterns such as abnormal transaction amounts, unusual locations, rapid transactions, or suspicious account behavior. Risk analytics focuses on areas like credit risk, payment risk, operational risk, and overall financial exposure. Another important concept is variance analysis, where expected performance is compared with actual performance. For example, if the expected cost is 5 Indian rupees crore but the actual cost is 6.2 Indian rupees crore, the variance is 1.2 Indian rupees crore. A good analyst should not just report this difference, but explain why it happened and what should be investigated next. Next, let's look at customer service and experience analytics, where customer conversations are converted into useful business insights. The data can come from support tickets, calls, emails, chats, reviews, surveys, and complaints. Analysts then track important metrics such as CSAT, NPS, first contact resolution, average handling time, and backlog to understand service performance. They also use text and theme analysis to group thousands of customer complaints into common areas like delivery, payment, product, refund, app, and service issues. For example, complaint data may reveal a repeated trend. The analyst identifies the pattern, investigates the root cause, and helps the business improve the process. Customer experience analytics is not just about measuring feedback. It is about converting customer feedback into operational action. Next, let's understand data quality, reconciliation, and trust. Before management can trust a dashboard, the data behind it must first be reliable. Analysts usually check 6 important dimensions of data quality: accuracy, completeness, consistency, validity, uniqueness, and timeliness. In simple terms, the data should be correct, complete, consistent across systems, follow expected rules, avoid duplicates, and be current enough for decision-making. Another important activity is reconciliation, where analysts compare numbers between source systems and reports to make sure they match. For example, if the source system shows 12.50 Indian rupees crore in revenue, but the dashboard shows 12.32 Indian rupees crore, there is a difference of 18 Indian rupees lakh. An analyst should never ignore this mismatch. It needs to be investigated before the report is presented to management. The enterprise principle here is very important. Correct analysis plus incorrect data can still lead to an incorrect decision. So, building trust in analytics always starts with building trust in the data. This slide focuses on analytics automation and scalable reporting, moving from repeated manual work to a more efficient enterprise analytics process. In a manual process, an analyst may repeatedly download data, copy it, clean it, perform calculations, create a report, and send it by email. When the same work happens regularly, it becomes a strong opportunity for automation. Common examples include recurring reports, data validation checks, KPI calculations, dashboard refreshes, repetitive tasks, and scheduled analytical workflows. A more scalable process connects the data source, transformation, validation rules, BI dashboard, scheduled refresh, and performance monitoring into one structured workflow. The key analyst mindset is to ask, does this task really require human judgment, or can part of it be automated? Automation reduces repetitive effort and allows analysts to spend more time on analysis, problem solving, and business decisions. Finally, let's understand what an enterprise-ready data analyst looks like. It starts with business understanding, knowing the real question behind the request, followed by data understanding, knowing the sources, tables, fields, and relationships. Then comes data trust, where the analyst validates and reconciles the numbers, and analytical ability, where patterns, trends, anomalies, and root causes are identified. Next is technical execution, using Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Python appropriately. But tools alone are not enough. Business communication is equally important to explain findings clearly. And finally, recommendation. A strong analyst should not only say what happened, but also explain why it matters and what the business should consider doing next. So remember the formula: business context plus trusted data plus analysis plus communication equals business impact. This is also what leading companies like IBM, Amazon, Deloitte, and EY expect: analysts who can turn complex data into actionable recommendations and communicate them clearly with stakeholders. That is what makes an analyst truly enterprise-ready.
Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue to learn and succeed together.